Ladies, gentlemen, good morning. This is author Germinal Van. And the video of today is about how to become a prolific writer rather than talking about politics per se. So, why is it important to write your ideas down? Of course, we all have political ideas. We express them throughout the internet. But the ideas that you express are not necessarily your own ideas unless you own these ideas. And how to own them? You have to write them down first of all, and then publishing them, either as a book or as an article. Once you're publishing them, you own these ideas. This is intellectual property. So if someone wants to use your ideas, that person has to cite you in the footnotes. So you own these ideas. They're yours. That is why it is important to write them down in the first place. Now, how to become a prolific writer? You have to write every day. And writing every day doesn't mean you have to wait for inspiration to come. You need to have a discipline. You need to write every single day, whether you're inspired or not. That's how you get the work done. But before even writing every day, what you have to do is to read. You have to read specifically in the literary genre that you want to write. So currently I'm reading a book called Political Economy Concisely, Essays on Policy That Does Not Work and Markets That Do. So it's by Anthony DeJC, and it's a book of political economy, so it's a collection of political essays. So when you read a book in which you aspire to write, you see those who have performed the work before you. So you see how they have done it. You see how they structure their work. As a political essayist, most of the book, I will not even say most, all of the book that I read are all political essays. So I'm currently reading this, and the next book that I'm going to read is this, Wealth, Poverty and Politics by the great Thomas Sowell. So that's the next book on the list to read. And I read every day, so for an hour or an hour and a half before I get on the computer and start drafting my ideas on the paper. Reading enables you to, first of all, enlarge your intellect. Indeed, when you read every single day, you learn, first of all, new vocabulary, new lexicon, and especially new information that the mainstream media does not share with you. And the beauty about reading is that you get to formulate your own thoughts based on the writings of someone else. It enables you to understand that things that you did not understand before. So it is very important to read. Once you read every single day and it becomes a habit, then you have to start writing. So of course, the way to write an essay is very simple. We all learn in high school and college how to write essays. So of course, an essay has three parts: the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. So of course, in the introduction, the way I do is that I always bring up the subject, what I'm going to talk about, then I cite the problematic. Once the problematic is cited in the introduction, then in the body part, what I do is that I elaborate my thesis. Why do I support this position? And I back my arguments with data. So data can be qualitative data or quantitative data. Quantitative data is statistics, numbers that you interpret. Qualitative data, of course, is articles that you read and books that you read that you use and you cite them. And then the conclusion, you basically summarize your thoughts, your arguments, or your position in few sentences. So I write an essay every day. I write an essay per day. Many writers rather give themselves a deadline like, oh, I have to write 500 words per day or 1,000 words per day, which is actually a good goal. But I don't go that way. The way I do is that I said I have to complete an essay in a day. So when you write an essay per day, an essay usually goes, it's at least 2 pages and it can go beyond 10 pages. It depends of the subject you're talking about and the content and how long you intend to go on it. But I usually take 4 to 5 hours to write an essay, and it can go beyond that. When I wrote my first book, I used to write every day for 9 hours. Now that has subsequently diminished because I was able to develop a skill in which that I do not have to write for that for so long. In couple hours, I can basically sums up all my thoughts and write them. So yes, I do write for 4 or 5 hours an essay. My essay usually go between 2 and 10 pages. Sometimes it can go beyond that. It depends on the subject. And so once I write them, I make sure to write them every single day. So once I write them, I always do an edit. I always do an edit, and then I go on the next essay. So for someone who writes an essay every single day, in the time frame of 30 days, so a month, you have 30 essays. 30 essays can literally be a book. So when people think that you have, in order to publish a book, you have to spend years writing it, that's not true. It depends of the literary genre you focus on. If you focus on essays, it will never take you years to write a book. If you focus on a biography, for instance, a biography takes conventionally 7 years to publish it, because you write about the life of somebody and you want to make sure that you mention all the details and that all details and facts are actually true. So a biography takes a lot of time. Fiction, it depends. Some people write fictions in few weeks, some take years because of the plot and the scenario that they're imagining, so it takes longer. But essays are very concise, they're very straightforward. So if you run an essay every single day, within a month, you basically have a book. If you have, of course, the discipline to write them every day, you have a book. And you can, of course, publish it easily. So that's what I do. I write essays every single day. Every day I write an essay on a specific topic. So for those who have my books, they know that all my books are just a collection of essays. Some are published, some are not, but it's just a collection of essays that I write, I edit, and it's good to go. It's very simple. So to become a prolific writer, you need to write every single day, and you have to produce a lot. One thing I know is that quantity is the most predictable path to quality. Some people, once they write a book, they want to wait a little bit before writing the second one. Don't. Because if you want to wait for the audience, for every single person to read, you will never get the work done. You have to write, publish, write, publish, write, publish. The audience is here. Books are eternal. They're not going anywhere. Once your book is in the market, it's in the market forever. Someone can purchase it at any time. So long as you have the intellectual juice to produce what you have in your mind, do it. Do it, because you can't just write one book and then promoting, and it never ends. You have to get back to work. You have to keep writing, because the more you write, the more you become better at it. No single writer became a great writer of the first book. I have few friends who have expressed to me their wish to actually write a book one day, but they don't know how to do it. Or one of them even say that he's not a great writer because he's afraid of like making mistakes. He doesn't know how to formulate his thoughts. The point is to write them down. Nothing is perfect, because the more you practice, the more you make it perfect. If you don't write your ideas down, you can never know where you did right and where you did wrong. You cannot expect that your first book is going to be your bestseller. Unless you're already famous, sure. But if you're not, you cannot expect your first book to be your bestseller. Your bestseller can be your 10th or your 30th or your 30th or your 40th book. It depends of how much you write. But it's by producing a lot, it's by writing, publishing a lot of books that among them one will stand. And that will be the book that will eventually make you known as a writer. So it is important to write every single day. It is important to be prolific in your writing. It is important to produce. The more you produce, the more you grow your output. The more you produce, the more you become an expert at what you do. It's practice that makes it perfect, not the other way around. As I said, quantity is the most predictable path to quality. The more you write, the more you become an expert at writing, and the more you become basically prolific at it, because you write every day, so it becomes a second nature, a habit to you. It is very important. And today I have four books, and there is a fifth one that I will publish very soon, and a sixth one, and a seventh. I will, so long as I live, I will keep writing, because that is the skill I have. That is what I know. So I maximize on it in order to become not just prolific, but to become great at what I do. Great people are usually prolific people, because greatness does not come from just one attempt. It comes from multiple attempts, which are first of all failures. So you keep failing until you succeed. But to succeed, you should not give up. You should not abandon and say, oh, it didn't work out, nobody likes my work, so I give up. No, you have to keep pushing. Maximize on what you know best. You want to become a political writer? Read every single day political essays. You have to read essays of people that you agree and people that you do not agree. I used to read a book. Let me show you. I used to read that book, Women and Socialism. Of course, you guys know how much I do not like socialism at all, and I'm not a feminist. But I learned so much in this book. I learned so much in this book. And the reason why I read this book is because I wanted to understand how the other side think, so that I can counter the argument. Because if you only read people that you agree with, you become indoctrinated. And that's not good. When you want to become a prolific and especially a good writer, you have to read both sides. You have to read people you agree with and people you do not agree with. And why you do not agree with those people, you need to understand the way they think. Why they think that way, why they support that ideology. Reading this book seriously opened my mind about feminism, generally speaking. I learned a lot. There were stuff that I did not know. The origins of family, there were stuff that I did not know. So when you write, you're still a student, you're still learning. You learn every single day. It's, to me, like, as I said, I never studied economics, but it's because I read books in economics that I start to understand economics. I didn't have to take classes in economics to know economics. Just by reading, you know. When you read, you're free because you open your mind. It is important. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a pleasure to talk to you guys today about how to become a political essayist, how to become a prolific writer. My next video will be about the efficiency of capitalism, why capitalism is, as I said and I keep repeating, the greatest economic system to ever exist in human recorded history. I will let you guys know very soon when I will post that video. But for now on, I see you guys next time.